Good morning, dear students. Once again, welcome to history class. Dear students, we are learning about the impacts of Buddhism. And we have learned a few points in this topic, like Ahimsa. How did the teachings of Ahimsa of Buddha influence the society? Okay, we have learned, no? And then we have learned about the influence on religious life. Buddhism, a new religion on those days, influenced the religious life of the people. Okay, and we have learned these two religions like Buddhism and Jainism were a challenge to Hinduism. So because of this challenge, so there was a reform movement in Hindu religion also, a reform movement. Some of the saints emerged in Hindu religion and they reformed the Hindu religion. Okay, and then we have learned about the influence on social life. How did the teachings of Lord Buddha influence the personal or the social life of various people? We have learned the weaker sections of the society who had been subject to many atrocities or cruelties got an opportunity to have their say in matters of political and social life. One of the most important impact or this religion changed the life of the weaker sections. They got a chance to say in matters of political and social life, or we can say this religion improved the life of these people. Okay, political impact we have learned some of the kingdoms and their efforts to, or these rulers' efforts to spread the religion. Okay, so please remember now we will learn in the field of language and literature the impact. Buddhism made a valuable contribution to the field of language and literature. Okay, so here we will learn the contribution of this religion in the field of language and literature. A vast and varied nature of literature was produced in the language of the masses, Pali. We have learned now Buddha and Lord Buddha and Lord Mahavira taught in Pali. Okay, Pali was the language, and these two religions enriched the literature also. The Tripitakas and the Jatakas are the most important literary works of the Buddhist. Tripitaka we have learned, three basket, and it is one of the most important source of knowledge or information about Buddha and his religion. Jataka stories we have learned. These are the two important sources to know about Buddhism. And besides Jatakas and Tripitaka, the other literary works of importance are written in Pali language are Mahavamsa, Dibavamsa, Divyavadana, Lalit Vistara, Soundaranand and Buddha Charita. So these are the books now. For example, Mahavamsa is the meticulously kept historical chronicle of Sri Lanka, written in the style of an epic poem in Pali language. It was composed by a Buddhist monk at the Mahavihara temple in the Anuradhapura about 5th century AD. Mahavamsa, an epic poem. Okay, it tells about Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka was one of the most important places of Buddhism now. Okay, then what is Dibavamsa, chronicle of the island? He is the oldest historical record of Sri Lanka, a great source of Sri Lanka. Okay, Dibavamsa. And Divyavadana or divine narratives is a Sanskrit anthology of Buddhist Avadhana tale. Avadhana means is the name given to a type of Buddhist literature only. And then Lalita Vistara. Sutra. Lalit Vistara Sutra is a Sanskrit Mahayana Buddhist sutra that tells the story of Gautama Buddha from the time of his descent from Tushita until his first sermon in the Deer Park near Varanasi. Lalit Vistara, another literary work of Buddhism. Okay. And Saundarananda Kavya. Okay. Saundarananda Kavya. Listen. It's a book in an exploration of the metaphors that underpin Buddhism as a religious and cultural system by Buddhist philosopher Ashoghosha. Okay, and then Buddha Charita, Acts of Buddha, Buddha Charita is an epic poem in the Sanskrit Mahakavya style on the life of Gautama Buddha by Ashoghosha, composed in the early 2nd century Common Era. And Ashoghosha was a Buddhist philosopher, dramatist, poet and orator from India. He was a great, Buddhist philosopher, Ashoghosha. He wrote Buddha Charita. So Buddha Charita, Mahavamsa, Devavamsa, Divyavadana, Lalit Vistara, Saundaranand and Buddha Charita are some of the important contributions of Buddhism in the field of literature and language. So what was the language of this? Okay, Buddhist sayings, now Pali was the language. Okay, please remember Mahavamsa. Once again, Mahavamsa is a historical chronicle of Sri Lanka, written in the style of an epic poem in Pali language. Mahavamsa, a book we can say, Mahavamsa. Okay, and then Devavamsa, once again, chronicle of the island, is the oldest historical record of Sri Lanka, a great source of Sri Lanka, source to know about Sri Lanka, Devavamsa. Okay, oldest historical record. Divyavadana, once again, or divine narratives, is a Sanskrit anthology of Buddhist Avadana tales. Okay, please remember Mahavamsa, Devavamsa, Divyavadana, Lalit Vistara, Saundaranand and Buddha Charita. Okay, the great contributions of Buddhism in the field of language and literature. Now we will learn about the contribution or impact of this religion in the field of art and architecture. Buddhism made an immense contribution to the evolution of art and architecture. Stupas, chaityas, viharas and rock-cut cave temples were their unique contribution. Stupa, Buddhist stupa, great place, no, chaitya, prayer hall, viharas we have learned, the place where the monks, okay, here we have learned viharas. Then the stupa is a semi-spherical solid dome-like structure containing the relics of Buddha like hair, teeth or bones. Relics mean the holy remains. Then the stupas at Sanji, Bharat at Amravati are remarkable. Okay, specimens of art surviving up to this day. The chaityas were rectangular halls with a semicircular roof supported by a number of columns. These halls were meant for worship. Chaitya. Okay, chaitya were rectangular halls with a semicircular roof supported by a number of columns, pillars we can say. These halls were meant for worship. The viharas were the monasteries for the monks to live in. Later, when statues of Buddha began to carved after the Christian era, there emerged several schools of art and architecture. Even during modern times, okay, especially during the time of Ashoka, stone cutting and chiseling of pillars required high technical skill. we are learning about the impact of Buddhism in the field of art and literature. We have learned, and now it is the impact of this religion in the field of art and architecture. Okay. For example, Buddhist stupas, chaityas, viharas are the examples. What do you mean by vihara? What do you mean by chaitya? And this, okay, please remember. And now, next topic is the decline of Buddhism. Already we have learned about the spread of Buddhism, no? Various reasons for the spread of Jainism and Buddhism. Now it is the decline of Buddhism. The popularity of this religion declined because of various reasons. So we will learn the reasons. Okay. Split in Buddhism, one reason. So this Divya Vadana, please leave that Divya Vadana. So we will learn about the various reasons for the decline of Buddhism. Okay, first one, split in Buddhism. We have already learned Hinayana and Mahayana. The two groups in Buddhism due to a split. The division of Buddhism into Hinayana and Mahayana sects brought about many changes in Buddhism. His popularity and prestige suffered. Differences had begun to surface right from the Second Buddhist Council. Hinayana and Mahayana actually were only two major sects. There were 16 other sects and each had its own followers. Okay. So one of the most important reasons for the decline of Buddhism was its split into Hinayana and Mahayana. And besides Hinayana and Mahayana, there were many, there were 16 other sects groups. Each had its own followers. So this all, lost the importance and the prestige of this religion. Okay. And the people became confused about the right to Buddhism. Okay. Split in Buddhism. Then, language. Buddha preached his teachings in Pali. After his death, Sanskrit, the language of the upper classes, also came to be adopted. Buddha, we have learned about Buddha. Buddha taught in Pali language. But after the death of Buddha, so the followers began to use Sanskrit. Okay, one reason. And we have learned one of the most important reasons for the emergence of this religion was the role played by language. So please remember that. And the corruption in Sangha. The monks and nuns started living a luxurious life. There was deterioration in the spiritual life. Buddhist Sanghas received patronage of royalty and hard became very rich. The monks and the nuns used the riches for their personal benefit. They began to lead a worldly life. Therefore, the religious decline was not a surprise. Initially, we have learned, So the Buddhist monks and the nuns had a very, very simple life. Their life was an example. They were the great example. So many people became the followers of this religion because of this example. But later, there was a collapse in the lifestyle. Okay. And also what we can say, Buddhist Sanghas received patronage of royalty and hard became very rich. The monks and nuns used the riches of personal benefit. Okay, so there was a change in the life of the Buddhist monks and the nuns. Okay, one reason. And the reforms in Hinduism, another one. Reform movement in Hinduism started with full vigor. Once again, the appeal of new religion vanished. Hinduism assimilated the positive aspects of Buddhism. Even foreign invaders and settlers adopted Hinduism as their new religion. Among these are included the Shakas and the Satavaganas. Okay. So, reform in Hinduism. And we have learned that Buddhism and Jainism, both religions, were a challenge to Hindu religion, and in order to meet this challenge, there was the beginning of a number of reform movements in Hinduism that reformed the Hindu religion from the hills or changed the religion. And also Buddhism, Hinduism adopted what we get the positive aspects of Buddhism also. Okay, and this reform movement gave a new vigor or a new strength to this religion. Okay, which religion? Hindu religion, Hinduism. Okay, and then invasions. From the 8th century AD, the Turkish invasion dealt a blow to Buddhism. The monasteries which had accumulated great wealth were looted. The invaders plundered the monasteries of Nalanda and Takshila and forced some of the monks to flee to neighboring countries like Nepal and Tibet. So foreign invaders, no, please remember their invasions was one reason for the decline of this religion and the end of royal patronage. So royal patronage means what we can say the help from the rulers, that also ended. So these were the various reasons for the decline of this religion. Okay. So dear student, please revise the lesson and learn, continue your learning and ready for the examination. Okay. We will continue in the next video. Thank you.